Hello lovers of lexicon and sultans of speech. Today we're illuminating words that dwell in the dusky corners of conversation. We're about to lift the veil on Underhand, Sardonic, Pessimist, Subterfuge and Cacophony. Words with dark shadings that are rich in character. But before we start the verbal adventure, be sure to subscribe to The English Nut on YouTube, X, Instagram and Facebook. Thanks. First to slink out of the shadows is underhand. Not just a tricky pitch in cricket, it's the adjective for actions that are deceitful or done secretly. The word originates in the mid-14th century from underhand, meaning done with a concealed hand, perhaps from the idea of the hand turned over to hide what's underneath. Sneaky, eh? In the game of espionage, underhand methods are the tools of the trade. The company's underhand tactics to evade taxes eventually led to a scandal as large as their ledger. I found her underhand compliment quite upsetting, but could not find the words to respond in kind. An underhand compliment, also known as a backhanded compliment, is something that sounds like a compliment but is actually an insult. For example, you look great for your age. The word underhand was suggested by my viewer Snehi. Next up, we have sardonic. It refers to a bitterly mocking or cynical manner or a sneering grin. Its roots twist back to the Mediterranean island of Sardinia, where the poisonous plant called Sardonian was said to result in convulsions resembling laughter and ultimately death. There is also a gruesome alternate theory that in ancient Sardinia, elderly people who could no longer look after themselves were killed while onlookers laughed. In this ritual killing, laughter was supposedly used to accompany the elderly not into death but into a new life. This could also be the origin of the word sardonic. Though still a negative word today, it is no longer used in such a deadly context. The actor's sardonic laugh became his trademark, chilling and mirthless. Her sardonic observations on modern art sent ripples of unease through the gallery. There's a fine line between wit and sardonicism, and he tap danced upon it with a jester's glee. The word sardonic was suggested by my viewer Utkarshini Reddy. Pessimist, a word that rains on your parade with its somber cloud. This naysayer expects the worst, their glass perpetually half empty rather than half full. From the Latin pessimus, meaning the worst, a pessimist is the antithesis of an optimist, forever forecasting gloom. Think of it this way: an aeroplane was invented by an optimist and a parachute by a pessimist. So a pessimist can also be a useful person to have around. The pessimist in the group was certain the picnic would be thwarted by rain, locusts, or perhaps an alien invasion. In the face of boundless enthusiasm, the pessimist's murmurs were a discordant note. She wasn't so much a pessimist as a realist with a well-thumbed thesaurus of concerns. The word pessimist was suggested by my viewer Shimanto Kumar Gogoi. Slinking through the alleyways of deception is subterfuge, a noun for deceit used to achieve one's goals. This crafty term descends from the Latin subterfugere. Subter means secretly or underneath. Fugere means to flee. Combining these two words gives us the word subterfuge that implies something is below the surface, undercover. Incidentally, the word fugere is also the root of English words like fugitive and refuge. His motives weren't altruistic, but laced with subterfuge, every smile a hidden dagger. She navigated the corporate ladder with ambition, occasionally using subterfuge as a rung. In a plot of intrigue and subterfuge, the mole remained undetected. In the last sentence, the word mole is used to mean someone who works for an organization and secretly gives inside information to a competitor or enemy. The word subterfuge was suggested by my viewer, Begoma Academy Maths Club. And finally, we crescendo with cacophony, the orchestra of the English language at its most dissonant. Say it loud, say it proud, cacophony, a noun for a harsh, discordant mixture of sounds. Borrowed from Greek, where kakos means bad and phonia means sound, a cacophony is every musician's nightmare and every noise pop band's dream. The cacophony of the city in Russia was a symphony of honks, shouts, and sirens. At dawn, the forest awoke to a cacophony of bird calls and monkeys' hoots, the wild chorus of nature. The rehearsal room was filled with cacophony as the orchestra tuned their instruments, a prelude to perfection. The word cacophony was suggested by my viewer, Sunita Ramaswamy. From the dark alleys of underhand dealings to the strident sound of cacophony, we've journeyed across a landscape rich with dark tones. Let me know your thoughts, and if shadows linger on any other words you'd like to bring to light, spill them in the comments below. I'll see you next time for more adventures in the enchanted forest of language. I'm the English Nut. Bye for now.